at the same time, it does take you putting in the effort. And so I wanted to kind of break down a couple of things for you and show you things on my end. Um, and then if you have questions, please, please, please ask, because if you have a question about it, you're probably not the only one. And so the first thing that I wanted to start with is one of the things one of my really good friends, she said on a team call one night, is that she said, what you're doing and your reason for showing up in this is should create and evoke some kind of emotion from you. And that just really like clung to my heart, because I felt like when she said that, it really made me think like, okay, why am I still showing up after 6 years? Why am I still coming back to these workouts, to this type of nutrition? Um, and for me, it began with having no energy and having no kind of like system and routine set in place, to where I just felt like I was kind of bouncing all over the place. And like sometimes I would go for a run for consistently for a week, and sometimes I would make up my own workouts, but it was nothing that was like a part of my everyday routine. And I feel like it was something that I was really craving. I was also craving the want and need to not feel like I had to take a nap every single day. And so when I, even now, 6 years into this, when I think of like, why am I still here? It's because I don't ever want to go back to that feeling, a feeling like none of my life is set in place. And it's crazy that something so, I say so simple as working out and eating differently changes your life, but I don't say that lightly, because when I started to take care of myself and really put in 2% of my day or a little bit of effort into me as a person, it started to like change so many different aspects of my life. And so it's like I was getting a physical transformation, and you're going to be getting a physical transformation if you're putting in the effort. But I hope that you start to see other areas of your life really shift and change for the better. Because for me, when I started showing up for myself and when I started putting in the work, and really taking the time to really think about my health being on the forefront of my mind and being a priority, because I had other people to take care of. I had other cups to fill. But it's like I had to fill mine in some kind of way. And so when I started doing that by simply working out and eating differently and figuring out like what eating looked like for myself and also for a family, um, it really started to take a toll in such a positive way in my mental health, and me wanting to find a routine with my devotional, with me wanting to find a routine of really having that quality family time. And so my hope for you in this, whether you've been doing it for a long time, you're getting back into it, you're recommitting, or you're just brand new and you're just starting out, and you're waiting for your package to get here, I hope that it affects you in the best kinds of ways and not just your physical transformation. Um, so this works when you do. And I say that because it is not a diet. You're not showing up for 30 days. That's our hope for as coaches, is for you to not show up for 30 days and then be done. It's for you to figure out and have this foundation of your health and fitness journey that creates this lifestyle where it's just something that you're doing, and you're going to constantly be learning, and you're going to be putting in the effort, and you're going to find new things that you do and don't like. But it's not a 30 days and then you're done. It's a part of you and a part of your routine that hopefully you'll stick to. And some days it might really suck. And some days you're going to fall off track. And some weeks you're going to not have your life together, which is most weeks for me, I feel like. But I feel like putting in the effort and the like, I'm going to really try, and I'm going to make this the best situation possible. And then some days I'm going to throw a pizza in the oven because I really can't think past that. I want you to know that that's also like you showing up in this accountability group is not you showing up with perfection, because you guys, like, that's not life, and that's not something that you're going to stick to. I was just telling somebody today, you want this to be a thing where you are working and you're making sacrifices or changing up how you're eating, and I'm going to get into the eating part and here in a little bit, you're doing those kinds of things 80% of the time. But then you're also going to happy hour, or you're also going to just dig into pizza. But maybe you have a side of veggies instead of having like another carb, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just dive in and enjoy the hell out of yourself, and then you just get back on track because you know and have all of the tools to start right back up. So you having a night off or you having a crappy week is not derailing you into like craziness and you've lost everything and you don't know where to turn. It's like, oh, I have these tools in my tool belt and this is exactly how I get back on track. And I have this accountability group to dive into. And this is exactly how I get started up again. And so I don't want you to feel like you have to start and restart all the time. It's just like you just keep going because life is going to happen, right? And so you don't have to feel like, oh, I fell off. And then, okay, so I'm going to wait. And then next month, when the new accountability group starts, that's when I'll start. No, you just pick back up. I was listening to another call one time and she said, you can quit today, but you can't quit tomorrow. So like maybe you have a really stinky day and that's okay. And it's too much and you can't fit in a workout and you had to pick up something on the way home from work because it was just a busy day. And that's okay. But then show up for yourself and show up in this accountability group tomorrow. So one of the things that I wanted to tell you is that obviously remembering this is a lifestyle, not a diet. And also too, leaning into this group is going to make the difference. One, for the community and the group morale. Like when you have people showing up consistently, when we have girls checking in every single day, when you're commenting on other people's posts and you make it a priority to just show up, one for yourself. But I always appreciate when I have somebody like commenting on one of my workouts or a post or something like that. And so when you're filling other people's cup, it's always nice to get that in return. And so I just encourage you guys, we don't really know each other. A lot of us, like we've either never met or we have met, or we're in a group with people who aren't all from the same area and don't all have the same fitness goals. But what you can do is you can be encouraging. So who needs to be encouraged? If you're breathing, you need to be encouraged. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave that. Let me see. Okay. So one of the things that I want to do right now is I kind of want to I want to share my screen and then look at, can y'all hear people laughing in the background? I'm sorry. Can y'all see my screen? Okay. What's happening? Okay. This like little bar is not letting me click. Okay. Here we go. All right. So in your Beachbody On Demand, this is like the home screen for Beachbody On Demand. So you have your app, and if you look in your app, it might look a little bit different. One of the things that's nice about the app, so the app is called BOD, Beachbody On Demand. And what I did is I put it on my front screen of my phone. And the reason I put it on my front screen is because when I had it in a folder, I was so bad about checking in. But now that I have it on my front screen, it's so easy for me to be able to log in, track my workouts, and also just like be more involved in the group. And so I have my BOD groups on my front screen. So if you don't do that, also, if you don't have the app, you need to get it because it's so much easier than logging in on your computer, I think. The second thing I wanted to say is that the bar, hold on, I'm going to put my headphones in because I feel like people are being loud. Can y'all hear background noise in my house, Jolie? Okay, gosh. Okay, sorry.
You sound like we're having fun.
No chill here. No chill. I don't even actually know how to hook up my headphones, so this is fun. Gosh.
It's not that bad.
Okay. So the nice thing is that you have your workouts. And the one thing that I wanted to tell you about your workouts is even if you're not doing a specific workouts, the recipes and the food lists that come from different workouts is super nice. And so why is this not showing me? Okay. It was showing me like just random ones. That was weird. Okay, so the nice thing is when you log on, whether you're on your computer or on your phone, you can filter your workouts depending on level, depending on equipment. Gosh dang it. Here we go. Sorry. Hold on. Oh, babe. Gosh, I'm so sorry. This is tiny house problems, y'all. So bad. Like, this is the only door we have in our house. I'm like, okay. So the nice thing is that you can filter your workouts. So if you don't know what kind of workout to start with, start here and just go ahead and look, or talk to your coach about like, what do you think is good? If you have specific injuries, maybe you're needing a low bearing weight program, or maybe you don't want to buy any equipment, you can filter all of that here. The nice thing about all of the programs is, like, one of my favorite programs to look at is 21 Day Fix, especially if you're doing the Portion Fix nutrition, because it has an amazing start guide. So all programs have what's called program materials. And this is where you're going to find calendars. This is where you're going to find, maybe if there's hybrid calendars, this is where you're going to find like the starting guide. Another thing that they always have is your nutrition. So if you look here, it's going to give you very specifics for each thing. So if you're needing an eating plan, I know we had a couple of girls who needed to be vegan friendly or vegetarian. They also have those options. So these things are nice. If you are a pen and paper girl, having these tracker sheets to really track out exactly what you're needing. So I just want to go ahead and like click on one so you guys can see. The nice thing is also too, guys, when you figure out your container system, like if you're doing Portion Fix, and I'll just go into this right now. If you're doing Portion Fix, we have two nutrition programs. One's Portion Fix and one is To Be Mindset. The difference, I feel like the biggest difference in the two are the fact that Portion Fix is a very like visual for me. So if you're needing something a little bit more structured, where it's saying like, these are your serving sizes, maybe you really struggle with portion control, or maybe overeating in carbs, and you really need to see exactly what your plate looks like with how much, Portion Fix is amazing. With To Be Mindset, I have both. And the thing that I love about To Be Mindset is I use so many of her tools and her little like quotes that she uses to look at food differently, or like when I plate my food, what should it look like? Or if I'm still hungry, what should I do? Or if I'm going on a trip, what should I be thinking about? Or how do I look at carbs? How do I think of proteins in my diet? Like, she tells you all of that stuff. So I really, even if it's just like the first 7 intro videos and you're looking at both, that's the part of you doing the front work to really be successful. How do I know these programs? It's not because I'm a coach. It's because I personally had to dive in for my own personal journey to figure it out. And so for me, the best way to learn is by looking around and diving in and browsing and checking it out and kind of failing forward. And I feel like that's how most people probably learn best. We have templates and we have different meal plans set for you that we upload every week into our accountability groups. But that's not saying like, this is what you have to eat. What I tell most of my girls is, hey, look at your food list. Okay. I want you to look at this food list, and I want you to go through and highlight things that you know you love. Okay. So if you're a picky eater and the only vegetable that you're going to eat is carrots and broccoli, or okra and cabbage. Like, I don't know. But like, if you only have very specifics that you are like, I don't have the taste buds for all this other stuff, then start small. Like, you have to feel like you're winning somewhere. And so if you're trying 47 different new foods, you're not going to stick with this. So maybe you add in one thing at a time, or maybe you try a different way to cook it. Because I know for me, like, I do not like steamed vegetables. Like, no, I do not. I like mine sauteed or roasted, hands down. I will eat different vegetables, but like, don't give me soggy vegetables. That's disgusting. And so you have to kind of go through that process of like what works for you. But that's the part that, like, that takes time. So look at this food list, go through and highlight and find things that you do love. This is also nice too, because it kind of gives you an idea, like, okay, so one portion, the yellows are carbs. So, okay, so 2 corn tortillas would be 1 yellow. So I can have taco night with my family and I can still eat 2 tacos. Or maybe I already had my yellow containers for the day, so I'm going to do an unloaded taco. So I'm going to have everything that they're having. I'm just not going to have the corn tortillas or the flour tortillas. So what I always try to tell people too is, I have a lot of people that show up in our accountability groups and they're like, I'm cooking 2 different meals. Don't. Like, I hope and I pray that you have a supportive person in your household, or you have a supportive family. But if you don't, find things that they like and then just modify it for you. Don't cook an entire different meal. So, and also add something new into the menu. I personally am a creature of habit. I could literally eat the same thing every single week and not get tired of it. I know it's crazy. But what I do try to do is find one thing a week that's new, that's different, that we haven't tried. And I always tell them, like, be honest with me about it. Let me know if this is like a yay or a nay, if we should add it to our like list of things that we love, or maybe we won't try it ever again. So I always try to get the family involved too when I'm cooking. Is like, hey, I'm trying something new here. And maybe we'll love it, maybe you don't. The other nice thing about Beachbody On Demand is the fact that they have nutrition. So you can literally click on your nutrition tab, type in breakfast, and so many different things are going to pop up. If you're on your phone, I know for a little bit, I had to, when they redid the app, I kind of had to like look around. But if you're on your phone, I don't know if y'all can see that, and you're on programs, up at the top is your search tab. So the other day I was looking for the recipe for the egg bites that I cooked, and I literally just typed in egg bites. And the cool thing now is 2B Mindset and Portion Fix, they have come up with like these little cool videos of how they're making stuff. And so this gave me the content. So it gave me a video of how to cook the egg bites if you're not a good cook, okay? A video how to do it. Also, it gave me the recipe and how it went on my plate for 2B Mindset and Portion Fix. So the opportunity and the tools for you is so there. You have to put in the work though. So I don't want you showing up to our accountability groups and be like, woo, gonna lose 20 pounds. And then it doesn't happen. You're like, what the heck? You have to put in the work. But hopefully this work is you changing your life, not you going on a diet. So do you have anything to add to that, Jolie?
Just that there's also the tracking on the app so that like you can keep track, that if you're done with your carbs for the day, or if you need more veggies for the day or anything like that, it's on the Beachbody app to be able to track your portions.
Yes. And you can set it in your settings for 2B Mindset or Portion Fix. So you set it up, and I don't know if you're wondering like, okay, well, how do you even know like what containers you should be eating? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So on your programs, on your workouts, let me see. If you go, the easiest way I find it, and I usually upload it into the file section of our accountability group, but if you're wondering, if you go to 21 Day Fix real time and you go to program materials, you're going to see the Start Here guide. And if you go and you look, this will tell you exactly how you should be finding your containers. Also, another tip, if you're following 2B Mindset, or honestly, even if you're not, if you follow Alana on Instagram, her name's like Alana Molstad. I don't know how to say her last name, but she has really good tips. And the thing that I love about her Instagram is like, it's not just here's options to lose weight. It's like, here's your options if you want to gain, if you want to maintain, or if you want to lose. This is what your plate should look like. So if you're having pizza night or you're having Chinese, this is what your plate could look like at these different levels. So maybe you're not in here to lose any weight. Maybe you just want to tone up and you're fine with where you're at weight wise. That's okay too. But the nice thing is there's all those tools for you to utilize. I'm glad you said with the tracking in our, I'm going to go back to my screen. On our Beachbody On Demand app, when you go into the Beachbody On Demand app, at the bottom, you're going to see home, programs, groups, tracking. If you're on the tracking, okay, this is where it's going to ask you what meal plan you're on. And then it's also going to have a plus sign for, oh yes, thank you, plus sign for workouts and Shakeology. As coaches, this is also our way to keep you accountable. So if I'm just going to use Molly, for example, if Molly doesn't show up for 4 days in a row, that's my way of saying like, hey, how's your week going? What's going on? Like, is everything okay? And maybe, she was working a 60, 70-hour week and it just got crazy. But that's our way as coaches to be able to check in and seeing how you're doing. And also too, you can sync your like TV or whenever you do your workout, it should sync to your phone. That way you're not having to like log it every single time. It'll just kind of like pop up and then you can add it to it. I always say like selfie or it didn't happen. You don't have to take a selfie, but it's encouraged because it's your way of like showing up. Even if it's a picture of your shoes. I'm not saying you have to like hold a picture out here. Take a picture of your computer, take a picture of your TV, take a picture of your tennis shoes, take a picture of your sweaty like sports bra that you just ripped off because it was disgusting. Like, I don't know. You don't have to always take a picture of yourself, but that consistency of showing up, I feel like is worth it. I mean, I'm still here after 6 years. So obviously something is working out, right? So the whole thing with Beachbody On Demand is you have to take some time to go through and look and find, but I promise you it's worth it because the amount of tools that are there is incredible. And the fact that you got 2 nutrition programs with your subscription or with your purchase, your challenge pack purchase, is ridiculous and incredible. And I think I paid like $80 for each one. So the fact that they're both free just like blows my mind. So please, 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 I hope that you utilize both of those things. Progress pictures. Okay. Take them. Freaking take them. You don't have to show anybody, but I promise you, you're going to be feeling negative Nancy about yourself one day. And then you're going to be curious of like, I wonder after 3 months, like, has my body really even changed? Like maybe the scale hasn't gone down what like you wanted it to, or maybe you're just really in a funk and haven't worked out in 6 days. And you look at the difference between your day 1 and your day 90, or even your day 21. I don't personally take pictures every week. I don't. I take them every 21 days or every 30 days is kind of like what I do. And the reason I do that is because life happens, periods happen, weddings happen. So I give myself grace in the sense of, life happens around us. But if there's that consistency, 80% of the time, you are going to see results. It might not be in weight, but maybe it's a pant size. So I always say, make sure that you are measuring and taking pictures. And in that, I always go back to that start guide for 21 Day Fix. in that start guide that I pulled up, you probably saw it on the screen. It had like the left arm, left leg, right leg, like chest, stomach, like all that. It just, you can print that out or screenshot it and write it in on your phone. But print it out, screenshot it, and then put in your numbers. That way in 21, 30 days, you can go back and check that out. So was there a question about, I just saw. So if you upload progress pictures, the only person that can see them is your coach. Unless, I don't even think, is there an option to share? Like, oh, you know what? There is, but I don't think it went to anybody because I tried to upload mine the other day, like share my progress, and I don't even think it went to our group.
I think it doesn't. And I think you have to allow anybody to see it if you upload it in the app. Like you have to give permission to do it. Otherwise, only you see it.
Okay. But the cool thing is, and we've had so we used to have an old tracker app, and then now we have this new one. It's called Bod Groups. And I went to go upload a photo. It had all of my progress pictures that I've ever uploaded. And I was like, so for like 2016, 2007, like it had all of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So like, it reminded me of like what time of life that I was in, what I was going through, what my progress looked like. Why did it maybe not look so good? Why was it freaking incredible? And that was really neat to see. So if you upload them, nobody can see them, but except for your coach, if you allow it. I think that's what it is. Like share progress, or share like us being able to have access to that. So I would say I always encourage my girls to text me or email me their progress pictures. And they're only for my eyes. They're not for the internet. They're not for anybody else. But come 30 days, or when you're having a bad week, and I tell you, okay, I want you to take some update progress pictures, and then I put them together and you get to see the difference, and it maybe puts a little pep in your step, that's when it's worth it. Or when you see you really have come so far, that's when it's worth it. My last progress pictures that I posted, I didn't lose any weight. None. And it looks like I probably lost a solid 10 pounds. And that's why I always tell people to take the pictures, because pictures, I feel like, allow you to see the work that you're putting in, and measurements allow you to see that. Sometimes when our bodies are changing, numbers aren't always our friend. So I think we hit a plateau and then we're able to get off of it, but sometimes it takes a little while. So does anybody have any questions so far about anything that I've explained? I want to be definitely respectful of your time, but I also wanted to make sure I get enough in. Anything so far? You can just drop it in the chat too. The next thing that I wanted to say, I wanted to speak just a little bit on how I set up my menu. And then if we have any questions, and then Jolie, if you want to add anything, or Chelsea, if you want to add anything, and then we can be done. I always try to put together my grocery list by Friday. That way I'm not scrounging on Sunday trying to put something together, or running in a store without a plan, because we've all done that. And then your bill ends up being super expensive and you don't have the things that you need. So my goal always, and I have an alarm set in my phone, is grocery list done. It's on Friday at 8 a.m. And the reason I did that is because I was failing too many times. And I'm a squirrel brain. And so that was just something that I was able to do for myself. I was like, hey, like, keep yourself accountable, get your grocery list, get your grocery order in. My goal is to always have a menu up by Wednesday. But again, with the menus that we put up, these are just like, here are some options. Don't feel like you have to follow those. Most of like meal plans I put up, I think for the portion containers, are like a meal plan B. So it's not A, it's not C or D, it's B. So then you would need to kind of like look at that and add to it if you're looking at the containers. So how I set up my menu is I get my main meals first. And honestly, guys, usually like I cook 3 meals a week. So I don't cook 7 meals a week, 3 to 4 maybe. What I cook that night is always what I have for leftovers. That's just how I set it up. I know how people will do their lunches for an entire week. I don't have a big enough fridge for that. I feel like I lose time. And so I just don't have that kind of time to like sit there and prep for 3 hours. Like maybe some days, but usually no. So what I try to do is I try to get the meals that I'm having. So like tomorrow we're having cauliflower nachos. That will be Tuesday's lunch. So I eat on that meal that night and then that next day for lunch. And then what I also do too is like, let's say that I'm cooking chicken on Monday night. I might cook some extra chicken on Monday night since I'm already cooking chicken and have that for Wednesday's meal. Okay. So it's like you have to kind of get in that routine. Okay. Like, okay, we're having tacos on Monday, but I also want spaghetti on Wednesday. So if I'm having tacos on Monday, then I can have spaghetti on Wednesday and I can already have the meat cooked and just ready. That way, all I have to do is dump it in a pan, put the tomato sauce in there, and I call it spaghetti. Um, so try to think of your menu when you're planning it. And if you need help with those kind of things, my goal is to be able to put my thoughts like that inside of our accountability group. That way, so you can kind of see how my brain works. But I also know that that's just my way of doing it. So you might have a different way that works better for you. If you work outside the home and you need that consistency of your meals planned, then have your meal prep containers and have them ready and cook all your chicken for the week and put them in a container and cook your veggies for the week. That's just not how we do it. But that's totally an option as well. One thing I do is I wash all my fruits and veggies and prep those. So like Haven and Clayton need lunch boxes. I work from home, so I'm not leaving my house. But Clayton and Haven need their lunchbox stuff ready. So I'll cut all the cucumber before I even put it in the fridge. I wash it, dry it, and try to do that right away. If I have it sitting on the counter, I'm like, okay, that needs to be done. If I put it in the fridge, honestly, guys, then it does. Like I know Rebecca in our accountability group was like, my goal is to use and cook all the meals that I have on my plan. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, that's so me. I'll like have this list of stuff and then I cook like one thing off of there and then I have all this crap in my fridge that I didn't use. I'm like, why did I do that? So if you have it, prep it right then. Wash your veggies, wash your fruits, especially if they're going for like, we use like the mini bell peppers for lunch or carrots for lunch, and cucumbers. Like those are our go-to veggies for like with that and hummus or whatever. And then like I'll wash all of Haven's grapes and strawberries and have those ready in her container. That way it's ready. So for my menu, I have like the 3 to 4 meals a day. I try to plan it out to where if I'm cooking one protein, I cook enough to maybe have it for another day later in the week. I wash all my stuff. And then when I go shopping, I try to think of the outskirts of the grocery store. So most of your stuff that you're going to find needs to be that whole ingredient, right? Like if we even think about the simplicity of our nutrition, we need to think it needs to be like as whole as possible. So shopping the outskirts of the grocery store, the perimeter is your best bet. If you're going to the inside aisles where things are more in a package, I would say that you need to look at the ingredients. Don't look at the label that says organic. Don't look at the label that says low fat. Don't look at the label that says no sugar. No, you need to turn it over and look at the ingredients that are inside your food. Because the other day when I went to go buy cauliflower rice, there was like 18 ingredients in it, and I did not know like probably 11 of them. So I'm like, okay, this is cauliflower rice, so it should be cauliflower. But there's like 17 other things that are in here. So you just have to take the time and learn like, okay, there's this cauliflower rice that literally has cauliflower. There's this one that has seasoning in it. And now there's 18 other ingredients. Which should I choose? Well, I'm going to choose the regular, and then I'm going to add the cayenne and the paprika and or the sesame oil or whatever you're doing with it. I'm going to add the ingredients because then I know what's going in there. So try to make your ingredients, I always say like 5 or less is best. And also, do you know what that ingredient is? So that's kind of like my rule of thumb. I think that's it for right now. I don't want to like overwhelm you. You're going to learn as you go. like I said, try to add one new thing. Don't overwhelm yourself with changing everything and canceling everything out and cleaning out your entire fridge where your husband's like, what the hell did you do with my Oreos? Like you have to take it and roll with it, but it does get so much easier because you start to learn and understand. Um, so anything else?
I just think water first is what Alana teaches. And so I really think that half of your body weight in ounces of water, it really does make a huge difference because you need it to survive. But anyways, secondly, Shakeology, I know for me, like it it sounds corny, but it's literally been a game changer. Like making sure that I drink it every day. And it's a way for me, like I am a very picky eater and I've had to learn as I go. And it also sounds crazy. I add spinach in mine every single time because that's just one less serving of veggies that I personally have to eat. So that is how I survive eating veggies is by sneaking it in like I'm a toddler. So
But you can't taste it, which is
no, yeah.
or cauliflower
Yeah.
rice. So I actually
Mm,
started adding the cauliflower rice. Guys, this is cut
yeah.
cauliflower rice like you find in the freezer section. So I stopped adding ice to mine and then it was like so creamy. So I literally was adding cauliflower rice and a frozen banana because we didn't have an ice maker. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, why haven't I been doing this the entire time? So yeah, Shakeology is game changer for me. It also helped my husband with gut issues. So TMI, but like it just made him, he was having some gnarly gut issues. That's all I'm going to say. And he was able to be more regular and also more consistent and also not like the rumbling in his tummy. Um, and Shakeology is something that I crave. It's like something that I want every single day. But I will say that it takes time to find like your consistency that you like because Clayton loves icy shakes. And like, that's the most disgusting thing for me. Like, I don't like them at all. I think the consistency is nasty. So that just goes to show you it's like the same product that we're using, but depending on how we make it is how we like it. So take the time to try different flavors and also try, like I put about, I don't know, anywhere between 12 and 14 ounces of liquid in mine. On the Shakeology recipes that they tell you online is like 8 ounces. That's 1 cup of liquid. That's like a pudding to me. So I always add more liquid because of the consistency. So just playing around with it and seeing what you like too. And always please reach out to your coach if you have questions. Like that's why we're here. We love our jobs. We love what we do. Like this has worked for us and it's helped our life so much. So being able to share that with you guys and then pass that on is such a blessing. So please don't feel like you're being a bother. That's why we're here. We want to see you succeed, and it fills our hearts and fuels us when you get those results and feel good. And when we get those texts that say, "Holy crap, I haven't had this much energy in forever. Like I have to go buy new pants, or I was able to get off my blood pressure medicine." Or whatever your win is, please lean in and dive into the group to be able to celebrate that because those kinds of things are incredible and they also motivate other people around you. So maybe your story and what you're dealing with and what your win is for the day is encouraging for somebody else to show up. And that's the magic of the accountability group and why we believe in it so much because you're not just getting a workout and a nutrition plan and saying good luck, hope you do well. No, we have the accountability piece for you to be able to lean in and show up and be encouraged, but then also encourage other people. So hopefully you guys have that courage and that bravery to share a little, little wins or even like your struggle. Like I ate an entire sleeve of Oreos today and I was really down on myself, but tomorrow I'm gonna kick ass, like trying to find the reality that life is what it is, but then also finding your wins. So thank y'all so much for hopping on. I recorded this and I will send the link to our coaches so they can pass it around. Thank y'all so much for getting on. And